What's up? Yay, yay! So,
Welcome to the Bison Brothers Basketball Podcast, your number one home for all things Bison basketball. My name is Chip Washington, the self-appointed Bison basketball fanatic.
Yo, what's up, Bison family? This is your boy B Smooth, Brian Foston, still the lover of all things Howard and all things basketball. So glad to be here. Looking forward to speaking with our guest today, too. E, what's up, man?
what's up? Yay, yay! What's up, man? It's E-Wash, man. You know, been out of pocket for a little minute, so, you know, I had to come with some of that energy today.
I love it. And the correction, you're always out of pocket, E, so we love that. My man. Chip, can I tell you, man, before you let people know why we're here and introduce our wonderful guest, I don't know when we're going to roll this out, but just know that the suntan comes from sitting in the middle of the yard for graduation this past Saturday, along with about 3,500 graduates at Howard University. So obviously my baby was one of them, so I'm partial to that particular part of the section of the program, but it was dope to be back on the yard. It's been a long time since we were able to hang out like that. So shout out to the recent graduates, the new alumni, and hopefully new listeners of the Bison Brothers Basketball Podcast. I'm looking forward to growing our nation one class at a time. So pretty excited to be back, settled in back in Charlotte, but DC was off the chain this past weekend.
Cool. And you definitely shout out to your daughter, one of the team managers for the Dream Factory. So we appreciate all of her contributions to Bison Nation. And speaking of Bison Nation, y'all know Bison Nation, we continue to urge you to donate to the Mecca Society. That is Howard's Name, Image, and Likeness Collective. You can do that at themeccasociety.org. You can also donate to Bison Nation at hubison.com. You can donate directly to the athletic department and through the Bison Express Booster Club. So please continue during the season, in the off season, continue to donate and support these championship teams. And as always, please continue to tell everybody about the Bison Brothers Basketball Podcast. You can hear us just about anywhere. You can hear us on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, and you can interact with us on Instagram at Bison Brothers Basketball. So please do all those things. Continue to spread the word. Share the podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment on the podcast. Tell everybody that you know. And we're going to get started with another great show today. Bison Nation, you know that the women's team and the transfer portal, we lost quite a few people. But the reload is looking outstanding. And as a part of that outstanding reload, we're going to speak with one of our guests today, who's a major part of that reload. Her name is Zoe Stewart. She transferred from Missouri State after spending 2 seasons at Murray State. She collected a Missouri Valley Conference Freshman of the Week award. She redshirted her 2022-2023 season, and she attended and played basketball at Terre Haute North High School in Indiana. And in Indiana, she holds the school's all-time career, season, and single game scoring records. She averaged 24.8 points per game as a senior, eclipsed 1,000 career points as a junior, and became the first female player from the school to be selected to the Indiana All-Star team in 2022. A bucket getter. That's what she sounds like. So without further ado, Bison Nation, let's bring to the stage the one, the only Zoe Stewart.
Hey.
All right.
So excited to be here.
Hey. How you doing, Zoe?
I'm doing really good. I'm just happy. I'm excited. I'm anxious.
All right.
No doubt. Well, we definitely appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time, and so Bison Nation can get to know you even better. And we hope that this is not your only time on the show. We hope to get you back during the season, after the season. Always welcome to come on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt, no doubt. So we'll start. Maybe I'll start, or who wants to start with their questions? I could go, or you can go, Brian.
What's funny is that, so Zoe, you have to understand, Chip, basically that's actually part of his script that he sends, like who wants to start when he knows he wants to start with all the questions. So he basically sends us a note saying, what 1 or 2 questions y'all want to ask? Because here's the 20 I'm going to ask.
Thank you, B. I didn't even think about it that way.
I'm just think about this. So just so y'all know, it seems like, oh, who wants to talk? Come on, we're going to let Chip get one off. I would like to say shout out to my homegirl, Zoe. I'm a fellow Hoosier. I just hadn't been home in a minute. I'm up from Gary, Indiana, up north. But yeah. So I definitely, when I was reading your bio, I said, oh, this may be the first time we've had 2 Hoosiers and 2 brothers from Chicago on the same podcast. So this is pretty dope.
Yeah. It feels good. It feels good having somebody familiar with the Midwest up there.
Yeah. So just so you know, in addition to basketball, I may be asking you a few kind of round out questions so we get to know the real Zoe. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But Chip, you can ask your first question and then we'll bounce in. How about that, sir?
That'll work. So Zoe, we'll start out real broad. Tell us and Bison Nation just kind of about your basketball journey. When did you first fall in love with basketball? And then kind of a related question, when did you know I'm that one? I'm that girl. Where you knew you could go far with this game.
Yeah. My mom started me off in ballet, and I hit about 4 or 5 years old. I told her I didn't want to do it anymore. And there was a basketball team at church, and she signed me up for it. I saw some people playing, and this was fun. So I joined that team, and I loved it. My dad, he didn't tell me anything about basketball. He didn't try to push it on me or nothing, but I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I really love basketball. Like, I really, really love playing basketball. This is something I enjoy. And I told him, about 5, 6 years old, like I want to be great at basketball. And he was like, okay, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I think this is what I want to do. And so he's like, okay, I'll take the time out and I'll work with you. And my dream was to be the first girl in the NBA. And so I worked towards that for a while. And I want to say it was probably about in middle school when I realized like I was really good. I could just pick up on things pretty easily. And I loved playing against boys all the time. And so when I was whooping most of the boys that were around me, I was like, yeah, I think I'm that girl. I think I can take this pretty far. Yeah. So I started off at a really early age and fell in love with basketball at a really early age. And work ethic and stuff, it wasn't something that my dad had to push on me. I just enjoyed it so much. I wanted to do it, and I wanted to play. I wanted to play all the time. I was one of those kids that was outside, and at elementary school, I was playing basketball. I wasn't playing tag and running around in recess. We were playing basketball and picking teams. So, started early, and I flew from there.
Okay,
I love that. So, for the fans that you're meeting now at Howard, what's something you want people to know about you both on and off the court?
On the court, I am a very energetic and ecstatic type of player. I love the energy that a crowd brings, and I feed off of that a lot. And so my heart really attaches to the fans and to the culture of a team. And so I'll do anything to compete and to win, and to not let my fans, my team, my coaches down, so I'm going to work really, really hard, and you'll see that on the floor. And so I'll feed off of a lot of people and feed off that energy. So, and then off the court, I think the biggest thing that I want people to know about me is that I'm a huge follower and believer in Christ. And so he guides everything that I do. If it wasn't him. And so I have to give all honor and glory to him. And that's just something that leads my life. So.
All right.
I love that.
All right. Eric, go ahead. I see you. I see you jonesing.
He's stirring. He's stirring.
She's one of the things I watch is or follow is a website called The Ringer, and they got a whole thing about millennials and people after millennials. So you almost made me take an off ramp, but I'm gonna stay focused.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
And so as soon as I saw your bio and started reading everything about you, I thought about Be Smooth, and I just have to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like to be from Larry Bird's hometown?
You want to know something crazy? It's crazy that you asked that question because
it is crazy that you asked that.
Yes!
Oh!
Yes!
Oh!
Yes! No. Oh my God! You had me at hello. That's what I'm talking about. Yes,
I'm wearing this. I'm wearing this. I actually worked the event for his museum down here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm an all-time Michael Jordan fan. That's
well.
But yeah. So I mean, he's a big piece of Terre Haute for sure.
Oh man,
so,
have you ever read it?
Some time. No, I never have. I never have.
If
you ever come down here and look at the museum, it's pretty nice.
I'm gonna get you a copy of that because, and I'll throw one more little tidbit out here. One of the things that I got out of the book was, I don't know how much you know, but I've been also watching Celtic City on HBO, and it's kind of making me flip my whole. I was never really a Celtics or a Lakers fan. Right. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the way the Celtics comport themselves as an organization, it's not only is it good for basketball, it's so tied into African Americans' entry into the NBA that you kind of got to give them their love. You know what I mean? And he's just how do I want to say this? His best friends on the team at the time, what I got out of the book, were DJ and Robert Parrish, not Danny Ainge, not Kevin McHale, and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Brian brought up that we got some Indiana people on the show and we got some Chicago people on the show. There was a Chicago guy on his Sycamore team that played Magic Johnson in the finals too, named Carl Nicks. So it seemed like he kind of always low-key hanging out with the brothers. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that was pretty cool, man.
It's official. E-Wash is back. He made a very solid Larry Bird reference. Zoe, if you ever get a chance to go back and you ever see him on the show, just know you're going to hear about Larry Bird at some point.
Oh, my God. He got it going on now. I can't even. Now, I wouldn't have said that in the 80s. I got to be honest, Ms. Zoe. But yeah,
okay. At least you're being honest. At least you're being honest.
He's being honest for sure. So Zoe,
go ahead, bro.
No, it's up to you, man. You got a whole list of questions. I only have a handful.
So I was just gonna ask on the Indiana front and kind of going to your high school experience. Now I know you had the single season kind of game scoring record. Was that the 45-point game or was it one? Okay. What was your mindset during that game? Were you just like everything just looked?
I didn't know. We were playing against a good team. And that was kind of always my mindset going in, was just like, I gotta do what I gotta do to win. It was a close game. We were playing a good team and I was racking up, and I think I had scored that point and we went to a timeout and they announced it, but I didn't hear it, and everyone started cheering. So I'm looking around, what's going on? And like my teammates are like, yeah, like tapping me, and I'm like, my dad's looking at me. He's like, you just broke the record, and I broke it twice, actually. But yeah, no, I didn't know. I had no clue. I had no clue. I was just competing, but I mean, I was really excited I was able to do that though.
Nice.
Like I said, for Indiana, the home of hoops, that was a very, very big accomplishment. So, yeah, no doubt.
So on the other end of that spectrum, because we're always curious, what drew you to Howard as your next step?
That's a beautiful question. I love that question. I would have to say the culture and the people. I knew that I had been at 2 schools already, and I wanted to be somewhere that I was going to grow as an individual outside of basketball, and I was going to love where I was at, and I could prosper the best that I could, being me and being myself. And once I met like the coaches and talked with them, heard what they had to say, and came down, I mean, it just immediately felt like home to me. I realized that people wanted me to be myself, and they wanted me to thrive, as being me, just being who I am, being a Black woman. And it wasn't all about being an athlete, but just growing in all aspects and facets of life, and not just basketball. And then, I mean, the basketball part is 10 times a plus. I mean, you got a successful program, girls who love the game. I love the way they play. The coaches, they know what they're talking about, they know what they're doing, they know how to push you, they know how to, help you grow. And so, like, putting all that into one, there was no way I could deny that. And I mean, just the history of Howard, there's no way, I don't think anybody could go to Howard and not be proud of where they're at and where they came from. And I wanted to be able to do that. And I'm walking around with my lanyard now, so I hope people see it, and I make sure I announce it too, because, people ask me, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Howard, so I can put my head up and stick my chest out with that. And I love that.
Okay. We love that too. We love that too. Yeah. I think the part that's the follow-on for you is, because it's beautifully said that, the coach, shout out to Coach Ty Grace, friend of the program, and knowing that they want you to be you, what are some other areas of your life you want to grow in besides basketball?
Just keeping it real, I've always been in predominantly white spaces. And I feel like I've, sometimes had to prove myself in places that I didn't need to. And so being at Howard, and I felt like I could grow in a place of not having to confine or die down who I am to fit the narrative or the stereotype, or fit in spaces where people want me to be. Sometimes things are loud, or things are too much excitement, and sometimes they can come off as anger when it's not that. So being able to grow for me is being able to be myself in all actuality, and then just growing and prospering in that area, and not having to push or confine those pieces down, and then being myself, and then just learning myself with being myself, and fully being myself, and being able to do that in all areas, basketball, school, and anywhere. So
okay,
love that.
Love that. So we have a segment called Underreaction and Overreaction. So you're already driving me to, I don't want to say an overreaction, but when you threw out the Murray State thing, the off ramp that I instantly went to was Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Right? I said, okay, man, when she picks places, seems like that are a little bit off the radar anyway. You know what I mean? And we have a sort of an ongoing discussion about NIL and its effect on mid-majors and that kind of thing. And in doing a little bit of digging, I saw how many times you were like player of the week or something in high school and all this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, one of my consistent ideas is you don't always have to go to Duke or whatever or this or that. And hopefully Coach KB is not listening to this. The fact that Ja Morant is having a better career than Zion, and who else was on that team? Zion, Cam.
Exactly.
And and my man in Toronto that ain't on the Knicks court.
Oh boy, and them. Oh boy, and them. Yeah, all them dudes.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they were supposed to be blah blah blah. Don't get me wrong. Well, I can't say I'm a Duke fan, but you know what I mean. And so, what is it that maybe Howard could have done to get you on the first go round, if possible? Given that you are, kind of a high level high school athlete anyway. Is there anything they could have done to get you on the first go round?
I think that if there was just that connection there, I definitely would have. That probably would have been my choice. When I went and I visited and I got to experience it, me and my parents, we talked about how, like, man, I wish I could have figured, like, I could have did this earlier.
Yeah, because see, my overreaction is, you gonna blow up. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, she just, when I was looking at the stats and stuff, and I was thinking about high school, and I saw the college stuff, I said, man, she about to explode up in here. So yeah, that's my overreaction.
All right.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I appreciate that. I really, really do.
Yeah.
And so, without revealing any confidences, what was the pitch from Coach Grace and BD and them in terms of your skill set? What did they say? Hey, we want you to bring X to the program.
Yeah. I mean, basketball wise, they wanted me to bring scoring, defense, help out on that point spot a little bit, be versatile, bring some leadership, with me being a little bit older. And then, like I said, I think, hearing those pieces, but also one thing that really stood out to me was they pointed out places that I could get better at too, and that they wanted to work with me. And that's not a lot of things that people will do. They'll just feed you all the good things. And so they told me some places that, I could work at, and I could excel my game on the floor. And then just even talking about just Howard as a whole and, the school and how that could help me, grow. And I would love to hear, as a person and as a Black woman. And so that was pretty much kind of like the pitch. And then, just the idea of they want to compete and they want to win too. So they want girls that are going to come and they're going to compete and they want to win and they want to work hard.
Play to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, and they didn't sugarcoat anything either. They told me it's not going to be super easy. We're not going to make it easy on you. We want to push you, we want to make it hard, but that's how we're going to help you get to where you want to be. You want to put in the work, and we're going to help you get there as much as work as you put in. So. See,
that's why I'm gonna go and mess up right now. I'm glad Chip told me you said MJ was the GOAT. Oh man, I'm so tired of these Negroes. That's fine.
Yeah, some of that you just said might not make it to the final copy. I'm just saying, we still trying to get a few sponsors for the show. They don't sponsor certain things. I'm just saying.
So speaking of competing, have you? I know, like with the AAU circuit, and there's players from all over on this team. Have you met or competed against any of the players that are either on the team or coming to the team?
The only player that I met was Z. We actually both were getting recruited by Murray at the same time.
Really?
And they really, really wanted her. I wound up committing, and she went to Kentucky. So, but yeah, I met her and knew about her. So that was pretty cool to have like kind of a circle coming back around. But yeah.
Yeah, Z Payne is in the building. Okay.
So I guess in practice, who's gonna be giving who the business? Are you gonna be giving Z Payne the business, or is she gonna give you the business?
I don't do a lot of talking. I let the game talk for itself. Feel me? So
see, that's how you know she a baller. So just check the stats at the end. I don't even know I scored 45. I'm just saying. I'm just out here putting out work, and the buzzer went off, and it's like, what y'all screaming for? Oh, I broke another record. My bad.
Gotcha. Yeah, so
I'm excited about that.
In addition to Z, have you reached out to any of the other teammates that are coming or players that are there, or you guys just kind of wait till you get to campus to?
We've been chatting here and there. We have a group chat, so we just been chatting, checking in, and getting some early things done for preseason and getting ready to come in. So yeah. And I text Z a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited though to get on campus and meet all of them and really be around them and stuff and feel that connection. So
okay.
Well,
since you're from Indiana, I kind of got to throw this one in there too. Are you surprised that the Pacers are in the Eastern Finals?
I think everybody's surprised. I think everybody's surprised. I think Indiana is so ready for the Pacers to be successful, but I don't think they can even believe it right now. So
okay.
How far you got him going?
Well, Indiana supporters might get me. I don't think they're going too far.
They've gone a little further than we all expected.
They're making a good run.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the Fever? Do you, have you ever like interacted with Tamika Catchings or been in any Fever games?
Yeah. So that shoe right there. That's you keep asking these questions. I'm in the right spot, the right time. That shoe right there is actually Tamika Catchings' shoe. When I was younger, I went to her camp, and I went for about 4 years. I think 4 or 3 years, and on my final year, I wound up getting an award, and now I can't remember exactly what the award was, but I got a little plaque and I got an award, and my team won like the tournament that they had because it was a 3-day camp. So I have a couple pictures with her, and I got to talk to her and like be at her camp, but that was pretty cool. Haven't got to make it out to a Fever game yet, which sucks, but I loved Tamika Catchings when I was younger, and it was cool, like, just being right next to her. She was really interactive with everybody there at the camp. So I mean, you got hands on. She was talking really down to earth, and just connect with everybody. So that was special for me.
I think they did win a title too, did they not?
I'm not for sure.
I don't think the Fever have yet. They got a lot of stars on there now. They're gonna make their run now with.
Yeah, they are.
With that team. That team is loaded this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing his research. You looking it up, E?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, cool. We need it. We need it.
While he's looking that up and staying on kind of on an Indiana theme, we wanted to show some of your highlights so that during the show, as people are loving and getting to know you, and I figured we'd show a highlight and kind of have you talk about this game so they did win
2012. Yes.
Okay.
They would an Eastern Conference title in 2009, 12, and 15.
Oh, all right.
I'm learning something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, we'll pop this highlight in. You could kind of tell us about this game and give a look, give the fans a little action while they watch.
Stewart will check in a few minutes in and show ISU why she's the only Indiana girls basketball all-star in Terre Haute North history. She puts the defender on skates, dropping them, nailing the first jumper of her game. Stewart looking like her days in the Crown Trophy game for North with a friendly bounce on the runner. Zoe finished with 15 points, 8 rebounds.
Giving people buckets. So how was that game for you? And how was
that was a big game for me. I got to finally, because I redshirted my freshman season. So when I got to come home for the first time, I didn't play. So that second year, I was ramped up. A lot of my family came out. The stands were packed. Some of my old high school teammates, my coach, he brought the team. My family came out, and so the bleachers were packed. And man, I was locked in. It was like I felt like I had another superpower once I felt my family there and everything. And it was just a surreal moment, and it was like, I felt really thankful just to be able to be blessed to do that, and not a lot of people even get to go back home and play in front of their family, or even just be able to carry out their dreams and play Division I basketball. So after the game, when I came out and everybody had, applauded and stuff, I kind of broke down. I got emotional. They put me on the camera, which I wasn't too happy about. I wasn't too happy about that. But it was definitely a surreal moment, and I was just so happy that my family could have come out and see me play. So
nice.
That's absolutely beautiful. I know, Zoe, it was the second highlight where you did that up fake, and the girl left the ground and you just ran by her. When I was on the playground back in Indiana, we used to call that, what you jumping for? What you jumping for?
You'll hear that a couple times from me. Yeah. Playing popcorn out there.
I'm just saying, what we doing? What we talking about out here? Oh my God. That first step back made me say, I can't wait for the season to start. Oh my God. Oh my. No, I love that. So, Chip, ask a few more basketball questions. I want to get to the other side of Zoe. I got like 3 or 4 that lined up pretty nicely based on rounding out who Zoe is. Okay, so you hit her with the basketball. I'm hit her with some non-basketball stuff, so we can get to know
So this might be my last basketball one. At least I think it might be my last basketball one. So from your just an idea of kind of what you may have seen in MEAC play, what's your overall impression of, say, the MEAC in its competition versus the MVC?
Oh, you beat me to it.
I think one thing that gives off, I mean, especially I think the MVC people were definitely, it was always a competition, but you'd have those games that but I mean, looking at some of MEAC play and even just watching a lot of Howard's games and stuff, it just seemed like everybody was really hungry, and they were just they want to win, they're ready to play, and you're just not going to come out and think that you're going to blow through and come through easy, So that was something that I looked at, and as someone who loves basketball and loves to play, I mean, that's something that you want. You don't like the easy games, you don't like going through and not having to kind of fight for what you want. And I think it makes it more fun, to play that way. So that's kind of, looking at the MEAC, I was looking and I just, realized, everybody's hungry. Everybody wants the same thing and they're working really hard. So when you step out there on the floor, you got to give it your all every night.
Yeah. Now I have to admit, I had a little bit of a selfish reason for wanting to ask that same question.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, it's a consistent theme running through the show, the NIL and all that kind of thing. And one of our more prominent men's players is now going to be playing at Creighton. And a little part of me is like, that kind of seems like a lateral move, not counting the money and that kind of thing. So I was just wondering, I was wondering what you would say about that. And you answered that already.
Kind of a lateral move.
All right, be smooth. I'll let you get in.
I got a couple, right? So I got a fun one first because I hear the dog mentality. I saw it in the highlight. The first time you do it and I'm at the game, you're gonna hear me say, "Oh my God!" They have no idea what's about to happen to them next because you were cooking them. So speaking of cooking, imagine you're at the cookout. What's on your plate and who's on the ox?
Okay, I'll answer who's on ox. Who's on ox is me. I'm yeah.
What we playing then? What you got going, DJ?
It matters who's there because I'm very versatile. My parents are born in the 60s, so I can go that far back. Okay. R&B, I love R&B. It's gonna definitely be R&B. Okay. We'll give you some old school, give you some new school, mix it in there. So, I will definitely be on ox. I'm a big music person. I like to control and handle the music, and I think I can read people really well. So, like, what music everybody's feeling, I think I could do that now. Cookout.
Yeah, what's on the plate?
Matters who's cooking. If we outside, I'm definitely a hot dog, hamburgers, mac and cheese type person.
Okay.
But, now my mama's throwing down. I got ham. I got sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, greens. We got the whole thing there. Now my mom also does cook chitlins. I don't eat that. I don't touch it. Clean them and cook them. I don't touch it. But I know the family likes to eat them. But that is not going to be on my plate. Everything else, I might load up and I might come back a couple times too. So
I got you. So keeping with the music theme, if you're getting ready for a game, what's the hype song you're listening to before you get on the court?
My favorite hype song, and this has been my favorite hype song since high school, is "Wipe Me Down." But you got to do the remix with Boosie and all the for sure. Yeah. That is my favorite hype song. It was like my big coming out song, especially in high school, and it stayed that way. So if I feel like it's like a big game and I need to kind of feel that energy again, that's definitely the song that's going to be playing in my ears.
I love that. That's Chip. That's what the Newts be shimmying to, in case you were wondering. I just want to make sure you knew. I mean, I know you got that cute sci-fi up there. I don't want you to wonder. You can't really hop to that. You got to be smooth. So
hey,
we're just like, hop to anything.
A double entendre.
I'm just letting them know. Just letting them know. Be smooth is in the building.
Nice. I can't lie.
You like that? You like that one, right? He's gonna get me later on. He might edit this out, so I gotta get it all in. So it's hard to edit this part out. So So one other quick question, and then we'll roll back around, is that because this is my first time getting to meet you, and it's been wonderful. But I'm wondering if we were to maybe tag in with 2 or 3 of your closest friends, what are 3 words they would use to describe your vibe?
That is a good question. I think they would describe me as empathetic for sure, funny. Yeah, I'm a big jokester, and we're gonna hyphenate it and probably say big heart. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. You've been hanging out with EY. You just making up your rules as you go.
Yeah. I had to put a little dash in there.
I said a hyphen. I said, where's the hyphen go? I got you. That's perfect. So this may be a big question for you, but because we're still going, party's still going, but from a legacy perspective, what do you hope to leave behind? Not just as an athlete, but just as a person. What are you thinking about from legacy right now?
I want to leave behind, especially something within culture. I want to leave behind somebody who was really diehard for the girls, and that's like the biggest piece for me. I want my teammates to remember me, afterwards, and my coaches to remember me somebody that is going to do anything, not just on the court, but outside of that, someone that, Zoe is trustworthy, and we come to her for things we might not want to talk about. We do want to talk about, and just kind of have that character within that culture of, maintaining that. That's really what I want to leave behind, and I want people to remember me for that, and the team and coaches, and so.
Love that. See, so Chip, back to you, man. My homegirl's my homegirl, so I'm rocking with her no matter what. But now she done made me a fan, so whenever they release her shoe, I'm gonna have to get one of her shoes because that's how it works. They just got to do it in the size 14 because I can't really rock anything smaller than that. I'm out here tiptoeing like a ballet dancer trying to put the shoes on. Oh, this is great. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you, Zoe. Yeah, one thing that we've noticed about a lot of our players, there's kind of been a theme, and you definitely fit in here, is multi-talented. We call them Renaissance, like they're into so many things. And so, of course, I saw the video of you singing.
Yes.
And we'll get into that. We'll share that with Bison Nation now. We'll get into it after we watch.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
So,
dang, they don't know what's about to happen.
Indeed. So in that Renaissance theme, and my wife, shout out to my wife, she's a former choir geek and a singer, so she's always around here bopping. How much of a role does singing play in your life?
Yeah, so I started off in the choir when I was young in church, singing, had my little solos here and there. And then I realized, like how much I love music and I love singing. All my family sings. It's something that, you're not going to go to their house and not hear them singing. It's actually ridiculous. You might get sick of it, but I'm serious. But I started in choir in middle school, and I did musical theater. And that was really fun for me. It was like another outlet outside of basketball. It was something completely different, but it was something I could enjoy. And I started writing music. And my dad got me a piano. I started playing that a little bit. I'm not good at all anymore. I really stopped, but I started kind of making my own songs. So it was a passion that I decided to I wanted to carry out, and it was kind of an outlet for me too. Outside of basketball, there's no type of performance or anything. You can let out your feelings on paper and sing about them. So, and then after that, with basketball taking up so much time, I didn't really get to indulge in anything music wise, but I love to sing. And I just love music. That is a big, like I said, big outlet for me. Big part of peace for me. So I'm always singing and listening to music. So.
Okay. Well, and I'm sure Brian B. Smooth chime in because he's the music guy on this show. And there's also definitely a few players. Make sure you connect with Bryce Harris. He's a big music production guy when you get there. And I think Cameron Shockley will still be there.
Yep. He should be around.
So Cameron Shockley, he's a big music guy, and and I'm sure Brian will tell the story, but a lot of times, a lot of the musical folks will go over to the Chadwick Boseman School of Fine Arts because there's a lot of pianos there, and it's very, very rich tradition of fine arts over there. So definitely make sure you make some time to get over there and indulge.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That
kind of brings up a Howard music question. What's your favorite Donny Hathaway, Roberta Flack song? They're both Howard graduates. I don't know if you do that.
Woo. Now I can't think off the top of my head, honestly. Okay. Donny.
And she wants to control the ox and don't know the song.
Listen. I can't think off the top of my head, but Donny Hathaway.
Okay, DJ.
I listen to his daughter a lot though, Layla Hathaway.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Chicagoan.
She's one of my favorites.
Okay.
So yeah, I listen to his daughter a lot.
I love that. Okay. I love that. Yeah, both Bryce and Cameron set up a studio in their room in their apartment, so they're dropping beats every time. So I'm just saying that we've been fascinated by, and you're just adding to the rich tradition of being more of a Renaissance type of person, right? You mentioned culture, and for us, part of that culture, the Howard culture, is we rarely find somebody who's just good at one thing, right? Most of us, because we've been either exposed to or trained in being excellent at different things, it tends to translate to other areas, especially around our passion. So I, for one, got a chance to write a lot of music when I was in high school and thought I would go to school for music. And my best of both worlds was to be able to go get an engineering degree so I could take care of myself. That was part of the parents' plan. So you got to take care of yourself, but fund your own dreams. I said, I got it. So I would spend my time in fine arts or in the studio instead of hanging out. Sometimes I go to the studio. So fast forward to now, because I was, well over 30 years ago, closer to your parents' age. But the idea is that having that outlet and knowing that you have the space to get back into it is I'm excited for you, because you'll find that people are going to tug at those passions for you, and you'll have the space to do it. That's what's beautiful about the Howard program, is they really want to see you develop into the full Zoe Stewart. Right.
Yeah.
Now, see, Zoe, I thought he was going to say his apex was writing the theme song for the show.
Oh,
that is a B Smooth production.
It is. It's a little something we put together. But
you left that part out.
Well, I was, I'm just doing what needs to be done. I'm just doing what needs to be done. But the idea is that we lean into our talents, and part of being on the show here, so people know that you got more going on. You're going to be an excellent basketball player, as you've always been. You're going to really see us seeing, Overreaction is, you're going to help us reload in a way where, the championship aspirations we have will be well within reach. But the exciting part is knowing that you're going to be on a platform, on a stage that is designed to get the full 360-degree experience of Zoe.
Yeah.
So, we will push forward, but I know your teammates will push forward. And as you get to meet some of the students that you'll encounter, you're surrounded by it. You won't be any other way to look at it, but man, I got to make sure I tap into everything I got in front of me. So we're excited for you for that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, even like you just said, the idea of tapping into those other areas, I haven't really got the opportunity to do that, just being basketball Zoe and focusing on school. But being able to tap into those other talents and those other things that, you know, you love and that you can do and that have been passions, it's exciting, you know.
Is there anything that from whatever, you know, from what you've learned about Howard so far that you're looking forward to participating in, you know, non-basketball wise once you get on campus?
Yeah, I saw like the fashion shows, and I love clothes, I love fashion, and so I mean, even if not even the idea of participating, but just like being there and seeing those, and I saw some like clips of them, and I was like, that's like so cool. I mean, even just to bring out and utilize those people, and they can like, you know, show their passion in it. That I thought that was really, really cool. But I mean, even just some of the events on the yard, I got to be out there a little bit and just see. I think they were giving out ice cream that day, so a lot of people were out there. But yeah, so like just, you know, just being out there and meeting people outside of basketball too. So
you know, and I would encourage you to. I know they have the city and the state clubs. I got a lot out of, you know, being with the Chicago club while I was there. So definitely, I think, you know, definitely get with the Indiana club, and I'm sure
Indiana State Association. I was a proud member of that. It was a lot of connects. You know, you'll see everybody from Indiana.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm glad you told me that, for sure.
Okay. We are here to be a resource for you. So if you ever got any questions, friend of the show, you let us know. If there's anything we can do for you, we're definitely got your back. So
thank you. I appreciate
it.
This is awesome.
If we are, Eric, you look like you got another question in there. Are you good to go?
No, I'm trying to show some restraint.
This is new. Though.
Yeah,
we don't know.
He got all new on us.
We don't know an E-wash with restraint.
Since you put it out there.
There we go. It just took a little.
You know, who are your top 5 WNBA players of all time?
Of all time.
Ooh. I know you're young, but you know.
I put some people up here as an example for me. Lisa Leslie was definitely up there for me. Dawn Staley. And then, you know, I didn't really get into a lot of older women players, but, you know, just some people that I look at now. I really look at Arike Ogunbowale. Love her game. Chelsea Gray.
Baller.
And I'm a big fan of Jordan Canada. Not a lot of people give her props.
Really?
I am.
That's a twist. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Well, you know, for your consideration, I would throw out Cynthia Cooper.
Oh yeah.
Candace Parker.
No, I'm not thinking of her name.
You said Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird. And
Cheryl Swoops. I left her out.
Cheryl Swoops.
I left her out. Yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl Swoops is the truth.
And so, since you've already shown the wisdom that we saw the answer from another interview, so, you know, we normally ask everybody who's the GOAT, you know, between LeBron or MJ. Your wisdom, we know that you've already said MJ, but tell us why. Maybe you could tell Bison Nation why, so you can continue to shine.
Man, everybody looked at MJ and learned from MJ. That's why he's the GOAT to me. The things that he did, the type of work ethic that he had. People like to act like he didn't compete against people. I mean, he had people pinned on his back and people coming for him every single night. But yeah, I mean, like, that's why I always put that forward. People look and they learn after MJ. You can't ask one player, especially the greats. You can ask Kobe, you can ask LeBron. They looked at MJ and they learned from MJ. They took things from him. And so, yeah, I always consider that as a GOAT. I'm a big LeBron James fan, but never will you see me saying that LeBron is better than MJ. MJ carried out a legacy that's just different. And the things that he did was different. You won't see another MJ. So
yeah. We're gonna be putting this on like a remix or something.
Yeah. I already know the song that's gonna play underneath. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Give me your hope.
I'm just saying, my heart was hurting. I was like,
That's right.
how many ways can we tell y'all that you're wrong? You're wrong.
Look, and shout out to Coach BD, because BD he believes all the young people think, LeBron, but BD, you heard it. You heard it from Zoe. She's coming in with the right attitude, the right answer. So that's
right. So don't corrupt her. Don't corrupt her. BD, don't corrupt her. We coming for you.
Well, Zoe, we really, really appreciate you coming on the show. Like I said, we hope that you can come back, either during the season or after the season, or anytime you want to come on. If you score 45 in the opening game and you want to come back and talk that talk on the show, you just let us know and we'll get you in there.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys having me, and what you guys do it's great. I'm happy that you even gave me the opportunity to just kind of talk about myself and share, and I'm so excited and looking forward to this year and just getting to know people. And I definitely would love to be on the show again, but I mean, I'm super excited and very appreciative. So.
Well, if we didn't say it officially earlier, on behalf of Howard alums and Bison Nation, welcome to the family, Zoe.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Indeed. And so, Bison Nation, you've gotten a chance to get to know just a little bit better Zoe Stewart. We're looking forward to seeing her on the court and off the court, around campus and everything. And so we just want to give her a warm welcome, comment on this episode. Let her know how much you're looking forward to her coming to campus, and just keep the party going. And so, Zoe, we're going to end this show like we always do, and we'll have you participate. We'll end it with our normal call, and we'll go H-U.
You know.